Monday.
All right, it is 6 o'clock, so we will get started. We have a quorum with Lauren remote. So we will be doing roll call votes tonight. First order of business is to accept the minutes of our July 3rd regular meeting. Any further discussion? All those in favor, Lauren,
Aye.
Melissa? Aye. Steve? Pete?
Aye.
Jenny? Aye. It is unanimous. All right, is anybody on here for anything that is not already on the agenda? All right, then I would suggest that maybe we take the meeting, I think that he might be here for something and just for comments.
This is so. Sorry, I'm having challenges getting on. Is this the right time to say that I'm here to talk about asking for a special select board meeting or special town meeting?
You just squeaked in. I just asked if there was anybody online who was here for something that was not already on the agenda. So if you would like to make a request about a special town meeting, now would be the time.
All right, excellent. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. So this is Zach Conover here representing the school board, requesting a special town meeting to be able to approve the school budget. We would recommend August 1st. So we have a series of school board meetings set up to be able to be ready in time. So we're meeting on Monday, the 22nd. The superintendent will be presenting her new recommended budget. Then we're meeting on the 25th to finalize and vote on that budget. And then we've got a meeting on the 29th with the town to be able to present that to the town and answer any questions. The first seems to be a good day. Our understanding is that the town council, legal counsel is available that day. The Connecticut Center is available that day. And that will hopefully get the budget passed in time to allow the town to be able to do all the work with for the taxes.
Gotcha.
You know that there's not this stage and stuff, so everything would be done either in the Kennecott Center or moved as needed to because of the remodeling of the stage.
Yes.
We do everything on the floor.
So we
meeting-
just have a table on the floor.
It'll be fine.
Shay, this is Lauren.
Go ahead.
The 29th would be a public meeting just for people to hear what's going on with the budget. Is that correct?
Correct. The 29th would be a public meeting for us to be able to, for anybody who hadn't attended either of the previous two meetings where the school board worked on the budget, where we'd be able to present the budget, answer any and all questions that anybody would have about it prior to the special town meeting.
The prior two meetings, you mean where March 22nd, is there another meeting before the 29th where the public can hear about?
Yes, the 25th. So the 22nd will be the presentation to the school board from the superintendent of her recommendations for changes. The 25th will be the school board's final meeting to be able to accept or reject and come up with the final budget and vote to approve of that. And then it'll be the 29th will be the presentation.
So I'm sorry, I'm just making sure I'm understanding this. Thank you for your patience with this. So the
No problem.
29th, so it sounds like the 29th is the one and only time when the final approved budget will be presented to the town prior to a vote. Is that correct?
So our intent, so that would be the meeting in person. Our intention is that we'll be able to send it out, hopefully working with the town through, Constant Contact. So we'll be able to send out an informational packet to the town, so everybody will have that. And then they'll have the opportunity to come talk to us in person if they weren't there the previous meeting.
That sounds great. Yes, I think that's workable. I'm kind of catching up with you here, so pardon me. It would
Nope.
be great if there was one more public opportunity to listen to your final decision from the school board. But that's in an ideal world, so, I understand the constraints of the time and situation, but I do like your idea of sending it out through Constant Contact or something like that. And thank you for all the work you're doing. I know this is a lot of work.
No, appreciate it.
So just a couple of process things. As Zach mentioned, Janet and I did meet with Kristen Collins, our legal counsel, to get after our last meeting where Maggie suggested that it would be helpful to get her perspective on this process. She, I think helped provide some clarity for me about how this process would work, and we had an idea at that point that August 1st might be a possible suggested date, and she has tentatively held that date on her calendar so that she could be here in person, which I think will be important for whenever we set the date, having her in person. The other thing that is required in order to meet this August 1st deadline is the select board will need to approve the warrant language. So we'd have to have that needs to be done at least a week ahead of the special town meeting, which means that we would need a very brief select board meeting next Wednesday to approve the warrant language. And my understanding, and Zach, please correct me if I am misstating this, is that it remains to be a bit strange in that the warrant language that we will be approving is the same language as was put forward in, that was in the, in the book.
Right.
And that the budget that the school board approves will be amendments that they recommend making from the floor, although it will have been presented in their information meetings ahead of time. So just kind of timeline wise, that's another step that we would need to do.
Right, and I can explain. So, and Shay, you are correct. So the process is the same language. So the articles get brought up, then the school board will make the recommendation to the change to match the new budget. And then hopefully everything passes. And then what we have to do is we have to then go back and I think the technical term is reconsider some of the articles that were already passed, because we passed the spending articles already. So to get those spending articles to align to the actual budget, so that everything goes into the state's financial systems properly, we'll then go back and reconsider a handful of those articles to make sure that all the numbers line up.
Yep, Carrie, go ahead.
I'm wondering, Zach, if you received the email that I sent to Kate and Dr. Brown with the potential conflicts for some of the dates you've chosen?
So yes, we did. We did see them. We tried to look back through it and figure out if there was another set of dates that had less conflicts, but frankly, it's a really busy summer across the board, and any place that we picked had a conflict with something.
Okay,
Can I ask
Any
what
other
time you want
questions?
your special select board meeting? Would it be 5? On the 24th?
Are you asking about the time, Janet?
Yes, on the 24th to sign the warrant.
5 o'clock would be good for me. I don't know how it fits with other people.
I'm not here the whole day.
I could do it quick.
Yeah. Are you comfortable with us
Okay.
scheduling something?
Yeah, you guys are fine, because you'll have Lauren and the rest of you guys, and so.
Yep. Lauren, are you able to make it at 5 o'clock on the 24th?
I am going to look really quickly here. I'm sure it's 5 o'clock on the 24th. Yep, that works fine. Yeah, Shay, I have a feeling I know the answer to this, and it's no, but in an effort to see if we can't squeeze in another opportunity for the public to hear the school board's budget, would it make any sense at all to expand that special select board meeting and have an earlier aspect of it where the public hears from Zach and the school board?
I think that, because if you guys are doing it on the 24th, they're not even having their workshop meeting for numbers until the 25th.
Yeah, but don't you think they'd be, okay, that's fine with me. I'm just thinking they probably have the numbers by then. But that's okay. I don't have my calendar in front of me. I'm just looking at what Josh said. And I'm just looking for any way that you can expand ways in which the public can see what the numbers are. And
Right.
if you do a couple of presentations through Constant Contact, maybe have a FAQ that's available at the town office or something like that, that lets people know. I'm anticipating some pushback and just hoping that the more information you can put out in advance, the less likely you are to get any pushback.
Perhaps.
We-
So
we can
that's for your consideration, Zach. You don't need to answer now.
All right, thank you.
I was just gonna suggest an additional presentation on Tuesday, the 30th.
The board meetings are open, public, right?
Yeah, I mean,
I mean,
people can go to those
That's
22nd.
what I would think might be the middle ground here, is to encourage attendance at the meetings, leading up to it, you know, because if they're public, we're on this kind of a time frame.
Mhm.
You know, cramming one in might work, or we could just encourage people to go to the already public.
Yeah.
Board meetings.
Yeah, we do a really, I mean, what we're trying to do is make sure the onus is on the individual to listen in at the times, whatever times we present. Typically, they don't, of course, and then they come to the meeting. So if we do a good job, if we're over communicative on those three things beforehand, I think we can probably cover it, but we do need to do a really good job about, like, as soon as we can, start putting out.
Well, I think we probably should both advertise immediately an August 1st special town meeting and within that list the public, right, the school board workshop dates so that people have the information to attend, if that feels comfortable for you, Zach, to take that approach.
No, that's very comfortable for us, and those dates will also be, so the agenda for Monday's meeting should be posted, I think, tomorrow. Will be coming out, and the dates for all of the coming meetings are in there as well. So we're definitely trying to push this as much as we possibly can to get, so the town
Exactly.
knows what's going on.
I have an email from Kate asking me to do it when I'm available this evening, so I will try to get your guys's 22nd out. And
Perfect,
so this evening, but it's not currently posted.
right, yep, I appreciate that.
Can I ask a question, Zach? I think I heard you mention getting out a packet of information. What is that?
So what we're gonna try and do is get the details of, so what would be the Friday the 26th, is that right?
Just.
Yeah, so Friday the 26th, coming out of the meeting on the 25th, our goal would be to have the standard budget documents that we're used to seeing, plus a cover letter or cover memo that explains the changes and the approach, so that we can get that over and hopefully get that pushed out through Constant Contact, similar to how we've done it before.
All right, so you're not talking about sending out a packet of information through the mail. I'm thinking about sending out warrant like I normally do. The day
Oh, no,
after.
what is?
Mhm.
Yeah, no, sorry, when I said packet, I meant electronic packet, not actual paper packet.
Although I think legally we have to have a paper copy, at least of the warrants, correct?
Oh, yeah.
And so I think, if at all possible, that this, if the school, a summary at least of the school budget could be included in that, and with a cover letter, I think that would be very appropriate. And should be fine if we could get, if it was available to send out on that Friday, correct? Friday, the 26th. I know it'd be a tight time frame.
I know, cause I'm trying to get this warrant out. But Wednesday night, we signed it, I posted as we leave. The next day, I was gonna get it, both Tina can blast it, but I also wanted to send it out in a box folder.
Yeah.
Not everybody gets everything, but it's gonna be several pages unless I shrink the content.
Right.
So I'm just, didn't want him to add another bunch of paper to it. That's all. It's like 5 pages already.
So you prefer not to do that?
Well, I want the warrant to go out, cause I want people to receive it.
Right, I just think with, if the warrant language itself is not particularly helpful without the background budget information to look at. I know kind of statutorily it's important to send it out, but.
They won't have that until when, the 26th?
Right, because they'll vote on it the 25th, so we can't send it before that. And then we have to send it in 7 days,
We have to send it 3,
Just post it.
posted 3 days, posted 7 days prior, mail 3 days prior.
isn't that what we learned from this last?
That was for town reports.
Oh, this is not necessarily considered a town report, so it's, okay,
But I wanted to get it out.
yep, okay. Well, and it could be something that could go in the post office and town office and. In any case, Zach, I feel like you are hearing the tenor of what we are hoping to do is to help as much as possible, get the information out to the public for an informed decision for a special town meeting on August 1st.
Yes,
Just one other question, what time on August 1st, are we thinking?
6.
6 o'clock? Okay. And do you have times for the meetings on the 22nd, 25th, and 29th yet, Zach?
I do. It'll take me a second to pull them up, but they will be posted in the minutes, or sorry, the agenda.
For the 20s, okay.
Just for the 22nd, not for the rest of them. It's not
Okay.
listed in the rest of them.
I guess if you don't mind sending a follow-up email with the days and the times, just so that we could publish all of that at the same time when we publish the August 1st special town meeting date.
Shay, can I ask
No,
another? No. Excuse me, go ahead, Zach.
I was gonna say, yes, that's not a problem.
Go ahead, Lauren.
Shay, I have a quick question. Are any or all of these meetings, will they be zoomed as well?
All of the meetings for the school board are always zoomed.
Are always, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear that.
So yes, the school board meetings will be on Zoom.
Great, thank you very much.
Any other questions? All right,
I'll just say this. There's all, the time it starts, those, but this could be a really long meeting again. It's with like, we lost so many people in the last one. I don't know. Should it start earlier? I'm just thinking.
If you start
earlier, anybody who works off island that comes
Yeah,
back on the 5.
I could do it
loses
at
the
5:30, I guess, even a half hour might be better, but it's up to you guys. Just throw it out, because 6 is fine, and that, I guess.
Separation time.
That's a good point, though.
Yeah.
It's a fair point, but I don't think if we go any earlier, perhaps this week.
Yeah.
I'm worried. But it's a good point. I hope that God it doesn't take long.
right?
You can put that juju on us now, Steve.
That was bad.
Where Kristen is going to be there. She's going to help us if
All right,
if any questions, because
Someone, is she our new attorney?
Yes.
Someone made, talk to me, but, would it be just as effective to have somebody, on the phone, on call, as opposed to paying for having them over here on these meetings? I don't, that was,
Thanks for this one.
Okay,
Hands on. Moderator.
because if they hear the question, they can answer it regardless if they heard it out, but I don't know how much it costs, but.
I'd say a normal meeting, yeah, but, yeah.
All right,
I have 5:30 for the meeting on the 22nd.
That's a normal time, isn't it?
on the 22nd.
That's a
The-
school board
school
meeting.
board.
And what time is the meeting on the 20th?
20th,
Didn't we say we're gonna have to
the
sign?
24th
Oh,
When are we
24th.
signing?
is the 24th, Wednesday, the 24th.
You say 5 o'clock?
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
That would be very brief.
Okay, so, understanding the schedule that we just discussed, would anyone like to make a motion to schedule special town meeting August 1st, 6 p.m.? Second,
Second.
any further questions, discussion? All those in favor, Lauren,
Aye.
Melissa? Aye. Steve? Pete? Shay, aye. All right, August 1st. Thank you, Zach.
Thanks, Zach.
Thank you very much. Have a great evening.
Right, now we've got an enthusiastic Sea Level Rise committee here, would anyone like to move to take the agenda out of order to handle new business? Next, so moved.
Second.
Any discussion, questions? All those in favor, Lauren,
Aye.
Melissa? Aye, Steve?
Yes.
Aye, all right. New business, Sea Level Rise Committee recommendation. We have a recommendation for you all. I think what I want to start with is, in the packet, there's a 3-page kind of info document here that lays out, kind of a summary of the variety of different, alternatives that GZA presented us with, for consideration. In summary, they all generally included, recommended kind of a 2-phased approach. The first phase being raising the road 2 feet and making revetment, so the rock walls is what they call the revetment, making changes to their revetment to increase their effectiveness for mitigating storm surge. We have selected which of those revetment styles we would like. Sorry, I feel like I'm like doing this a little bit disjointed. So I'll present that first. I'm assuming you guys want me to cut to the chase, or I'm happy to go through all of the details, but I'm starting with the summary. And then if there are questions about the details, then I'm happy to go back. If you look at page 2 of the 3-page document, you will notice C1 is the option at the bottom. This option would be replacing the revetments at the middle and southern sections of the Narrows, which is where the 2 rock walls are currently. We would need to remove the existing revetment and basically start from a new base. I personally call this the short and wide option because one of the alternatives was basically creating a very high wall that then you wouldn't be able to see the water. This allows you to see the height not to change particularly for the rock wall that is there, but it has a berm further out into the intertidal zone so that it effectively kind of takes the wave action out at the knees to reduce the storm surge that has been so problematic coming from the east side. It also includes 4 rows of reef balls, which are
Artificial.
It's an artificial reef. They're like 6 feet tall. They would do minimal, their effectiveness is really in habitat creation, and sediment control. At low tides, when we're experiencing storm surge, they might do some work to help reduce the storm surge, but really they're about habitat and kind of one of the nature-based solutions that we're hoping will make us more competitive with grant funding.
Those ones are the ones that you guys were talking about that also goes through and it catches a lot of the sediment and the sand and everything. So it stops it before it gets into the rocks and then moves out the big rocks.
Yeah. That. Somebody attended a meeting.
I did. I am so proud of myself. And so, just so you know, not only did I attend most of the meetings, thorough other research and just like 2:00 a.m. scrolling, because if you look at one thing on your phone, then you learn a lot. Because everything else keeps popping up to tell you about it. That was like the #1 recommended for a lot of the European and other coastal areas that are experiencing kind of the same things that we have too. And so, good job, guys.
Does this, does this,
#1.
sorry, does this one also, do they all include like the 2-foot road in raising, and then these are the other kind of barrier options? Okay.
Correct, so,
Right.
and basically what that does is recognize that from the west side, we still have an issue with water level rising. It's not the waves, but at current, it's, at current levels, the road needs to go up. So now if you wanna look at the plan view here, the first one with just the black line is the area where GCA is recommending on average to raise it 2 feet. And then the areas in where the revetment would be located. So the price tag for phase 1, for that option, phase 1 that we are recommending is right now, estimated to be $3.5 to $4.5 million for us to complete that work.
Sorry. Is that, you're saying C1, the one with the reef falls?
And raising the road. So
Oh,
raising
okay,
the,
you
raising,
have to-
yeah,
I-
the raising
I-
the
That's
road,
why I asked if it was
Yeah.
included in
Yeah.
both. but
Oh,
the
sorry.
cost
So-
is not.
the cost is not, so it's,
Okay.
they're estimating 1 to 1.5 million to raise the road.
Yep.
And then an additional 2.4 to 2.9 to do the revetment improvements. So that is what we are recommending for phase 1. We are also recommending that we move forward with a phase and with a phase 2 for the project. And that looks like the, a bridge option. So if you look at the second with the orange line, there is a lot of information and questions that need to be answered for this, but conceptually, what GCA is recommending is that we start, if you're going south to north, you raise the road 2 feet, you would veer the roadway off to the west. So that paler orange would be a small bridge section that crosses the marsh area there. That the orange road would then land what is on currently IIT property. Steve, we have met with Steve, and at least conceptually, you know, they're interested in investigating this option. One of the things we've talked about a lot as a committee that would be part of future planning is recognizing that we may need a second northern bridge option over kind of the northern Crow Cove Marsh area and across from the beach that is owned by the Frames, which was inundated during the January storms. So there's more work to be done there about that protection. If we were to do, so GZA is recommending that we take this phased approach, recognizing that the revetments and raising the road would provide additional protection in the immediate and is kind of the shortest time frame for which we can get something permitted. And it gives us time to do the planning that is required for the phase two. And the way that I kind of am thinking about it is on the first page of the adaptation project is the state kind of has recommended to us for municipalities to commit to manage 1.5 feet of sea level rise by 2050 and 3 feet by 2100. And I kind of see through the phase one is like, that is our commit to manage, but it also says prepare to manage 3.9 to 8.8. And I think we really need to move forward with phase two at the same time to make sure that we are prepared for those higher levels, because raising the road 2 feet is not going to be adequate preparation for those higher sea level rise scenarios that we need to be prepared for. There's one other thing that I wanted to mention, but
What do you think?
yeah,
So for phase two, we would still keep the previously done revampments and marsh balls and reef balls and all of that in order to help protect the marsh too, though, right? Okay,
correct. Although the road, there is the possibility that we would basically turn, rewild the existing roadway once the new road is moved to the west. One of the other nice approaches for this is that it made sure that there is always the ability to travel up and down the island while the other road is built, so. So that project right now is estimated at like at $20 million. In addition to basically so all in phase one and phase two, you're looking at 23.5 to 24.5 million. For that, again, like I think they said, even if we, GZA said if we move forward as quickly as possible, they would imagine that 2027 would be the earliest that we would begin construction on phase one, and 2031 would be the earliest that we would potentially see construction for a phase two project. So what I'm asking for tonight is approval for the committee's recommendation to continue to work the planning process on phase one, C1 option with raising the road. And phase two, continuing to pursue a bridge option as a longer term solution. We would be working with GZA to bring that phase one, C1, phase one, C1, to 30% design with our existing grant funds. And we have grant money pending to hopefully fund the next round of planning that would get us to the kind of more permitting stage of things. Are there any questions or?
I don't have a question, but I want to add, and I'm not gonna, I don't have in front of me all the numbers for those of you who are wondering about the cost of doing short-term versus long-term. So you might think of the bridge as a much longer-term solution. Although the revetment with berm and reef balls does a great job, it's not going to last as long as a bridge. So in terms of cost, whatever we do with the revetment, berm and reef balls, that won't last as long as a bridge. So we will need to redo the revetment berm and reef balls down the line if we don't have a bridge. I guess that's my point. So if that makes sense, maybe Shay, you can say it better than I've just done, but that's an important consideration is duration of these models and how long they will, if we put money into them, how long some of these will serve our purposes. And if we're putting in a bridge, why are we doing that? Part of the reason is that we want to be able to have something there for a longer period of time that we won't have to rebuild.
Yeah, and I would, yeah, just saying it a slightly different way, I mean, the 1978 storm was the last time the Narrows washed out, and is what was the impetus for the current rock wall that was completed in 1984. So just sort of timeline wise, you know, we are now about 40 years from the completion of that project, and so I would anticipate something like a 40-year lifespan for what we have current, you know, what we intend to build in phase one.
What happens to,
Well,
What?
Nancy is our bridge advocate.
what happens to the raised road after the bridge is paid?
That will be part of the planning process. And we have been in conversations with Donna Leone, who owns the house there on the, she's on our committee and on tonight. About kind of long-term options with that piece of property. So there are lots of moving pieces, but we have discussed the potential of basically rewilding it. So the road, the elevation would stay the same, but we would potentially remove the blacktop so that it could be, you know, recognizing we're gonna be taking some wild land. And there may be the potential for, you know, making either side kind of more open space.
Like a bike trail. I mean, it's flat. Very short bike. They can turn around and do it again.
Loop over the bridge.
Oh,
You have to see that on paper. I'm like,
and I will give you your motion right now if you will keep the blacktop and keep the bikers off the bridge. If you will consider it.
I think that we certainly the committee can agree to consider that in our future planning processes.
So I have a question. All right, so, having great, looks like a lot of work gone into this. Phase one and two make, you know, sense, but is there ability to move both phases forward, but have them be separate when it comes to the town? You know, voting on it, or, you know, every time you combine things like the firehouse and one of the major issues is, why did you combine that? Cause it forces people to make, you know, and then. So I would suggest, my question is, and suggestion is to move forward with the options. But make sure that they are separate when they come to the front of the community to decide if they want to proceed with one or both at the same time, or they can proceed with one, but defer option two, or, you know, it just gives us flexibility.
I think that makes a lot of sense, and Sri, our project manager, has described them as 2 phases, separate baskets. So we carry both baskets, but I think, you know, I think that is the
The goal. Yeah,
right?
right.
That
Sounds fun.
and yeah, I mean, we're asking for support to move the planning process forward. Once we get to the next phase of permitting, and obviously before we get to any kind of construction phase, we would need to be coming back and asking for a town vote with you know, kind of complete finance package. What we are very much hoping is that financing package is not asking for a bond for, you know, $4 million to raise the road and do the revetment. We're hoping to come to the town saying, we've got some federal funding, but I'm just recognizing that that would be a town vote, once we have that funding model in place.
So how do you put this in the package to vote on here? How do you, are we approving this?
I would make a motion to. The select board makes it, or I make a motion for the select board to approve, congratulate, and promote you guys to move forward in your planning for phase 1 and into phase 2.
For the
For
C one option.
Yeah, for your phase 1, C1, phase 1.2, C.1A Star Wars option.
Well, does it, it's C1, but it also
C one with the road, with
with
raising
the
the road.
raising the road.
Yeah.
Which we, I,
We raise the road and the roof, yes.
I second that.
Go with some of your embarrassing parents.
We're awesome.
I would second that.
oh, you have to go like this.
Is there any further comments, questions, discussion, comments from the other Sea Level Rise Committee members in attendance?
Only in support of Steve's cautionary remarks. The approval process for the bridge option and the C1 are gonna be separated anyway.
Okay,
They need to be.
Yeah.
Because of the schedule, we need to move ahead with addressing the problems we've had in the last year, and also. Well,
Yep.
Any other comments, questions? All right, with that, we'll move it to a vote. Lauren,
Aye.
Melissa.
Aye.
Steve, Pete. Okay, aye. Thank you very much. Now our work is. It's party time, it's not work time, it's
Your work is done now, right? Hold on.
You just have to wait until the next story.
That was my Star Wars reference. Oh.
All right, thank you all. With that, I would, yeah, we'll move back into.
So,
Melissa, here, I think about,
oh, what are you, don't do it yet.
solar for the library roof. Is that
Thank you. Thank you.
all.
You trying to get it too hysterical?
What?
You're trying to go to the hysterical side?
I'm not.
Okay, you're all dressed.
Thank you. Thank you to the committee.
Thanks, Donna.
Bye.
Well, okay, so I did not know I was coming here today, but thank you very much for seeing me. I am the director of the library, and we are working on a sustainable libraries initiative, a certification program. We're very excited. And by we, I mean, the trustees and the staff and the friends of the library, all know about this program, and it's just, it's a way for libraries to stay sustainable in the future, which means not just environmentally friendly, but relevant to the community and all that. There's but a major piece of this program is environment and energy efficiency, so that we don't produce a lot of carbon. And Pete, I don't know, have you talked to the group about any of this at all? He's our liaison.
Not in much detail.
Okay.
in the budget process.
Okay, fine. So anyway, Cressica Brazier on the Energy Committee has been instrumental in helping us do a lot of the energy efficiency projects. Right now, she's in the works of getting heat pumps in and has been talking with Solar Logics also about solar panels. So it is my understanding that the Energy Committee is paying for the heat pumps, but we are trying to get funding for the solar panels. And I have approach the Friends of the Library, who are sitting on a great deal of money, to fund this project. And we have all of the proposal, the cost and the rebates and all of this. But the Friends, and specifically Priscilla, are wanting everybody to know what's happening and basically approval, since it is the town's building. And before she goes to her friend's board to ask for the money. So she just wants all of the i's dotted and t's crossed, not asking the select board of the town for any money, just approval to put a solar array on the library, which, and the proposal would have us be able to create like 95% of our energy, which would be amazing. Our goal is net zero. I'm not sure, we just do the best we can. So, we have the trustees, the library trustees have obviously approved, endorsed this project. As has the energy committee. According to Cressica, I wasn't in the meeting. But, we will be going to the Friends, if you all give your approval, to ask for the funding. So I guess that is where I stand right now. I don't know if that's enough information.
Questions?
Yes,
Have you guys looked at, cause you guys were doing something with the historical sustainability and with the building
Yes.
itself,
yes,
the compatibility with the
Yes.
solar array on the roof and making sure that it doesn't do anything that's going to damage the additional energy committee work with the blower doors and the heat pumps and different things like that. Has all of that already been vetted?
yes. So Cressica has been involved in the energy committee. She's on our project, the Sustainable Libraries, and so the building is historic, on the historic register. It's over 100 years old. The heat pumps aren't going to punch through any of that existing, the original wall. If there was any punching through, it's gonna be on the addition, the 1993 addition,
No, I meant about just the solar array itself.
on the roof.
Yeah.
So it is only going to be on the addition,
Okay.
not on the original slate. The addition has, and everybody knew it was different. It's not asphalt, it's like concrete tiles, but they're still, 30 years old. What the proposal is, and we're gonna ask the Friends to fund, is removing half of those concrete tiles on the southern half and replacing it with asphalt, because the solar companies, they said if you drill through that cement tiles, it could, these things could shatter, it could damage the roof. So about $10,000 would be needed to take off the existing and replace it with asphalt and then cover that with solar.
With the foundation work that you guys are having done, does that do anything with the addition?
So, no. No, it doesn't. And I definitely have that in mind. And, I was wondering, because we do need a heat pump in the original structure, but there's gonna be pipes run through. And so the unit will be on the, addition part, not around the, anywhere near, or around the original foundation, as far as I know. And we're all aware of all of the projects. So we know that we need to work together.
Cool.
So what you're looking for is just conceptual approval for having the library install solar panels on the roof?
Yes.
So moved.
Second. You can have it.
Any further questions, discussion? All those in favor, Lauren?
Aye. Great, Melissa.
Thank you, Lauren.
I,
Shay, I.
Thank you so much. So I'll take this back to Priscilla and the friends. And it's all like written down. Yeah, great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Can we go back into order? Right.
She was visiting.
Yep, yep. So ferry service update, John King is not here. We all saw the emails, ferry rates are going up August 1st. John King has continued, did you guys see the email from John? Basically indicating he's still planning to resign from the board, after tomorrow's meeting.
Mhm.
I have heard four people have expressed interest in potentially filling the position. So what I was going to suggest is I'm happy to call John and work with him, to kind of document what the responsibilities, and roles are of that position, and that we could put out, once he formally resigns, we can put out a opening with those responsibilities and roles, and ask people to submit a one-page letter of interest based on that. And then, at our next board meeting, either on the 31st, I guess, or on the 14th, depending on how timing of everything works, we could review those and move to appoint a new position. Does that sound like a reasonable plan forward for that?
So we wanna have them in to interview them and talk about their letter real quick, like a 5 minute, or do you wanna just pass that over? Just do it by the letter.
Does anybody have a strong preference? I think committees have, I guess you've been part of this more than anybody
I would
else.
go into an executive session. I think we should take the letters in. We should have access to them prior to the meeting. Discussing them lightly at the meeting itself. Move to an executive session and discuss what we think. Pull out and vote on there.
And
Yeah.
do you feel like there needs to be an interview as part of that executive session, or do you think that a one-page letter isn't sufficient?
I think unless we get letters unless we get interest from people who are like impressively similar in their skills, abilities, and desires, that we could probably do it without that. But if we get 2 or 3 people in who are like pretty much identical, it probably would be wise to have the president.
Well, the only reason for, is. It's, how do we gotta make sure we have. Good, make sure the letter illustrates or the posting illustrates, really please, detail. Why you're, you think you're qualified for the role, because my concern is when you go into executive session, which is all fine. Someone's gonna say, well, why did you pick Tommy over Susie, and. What, we have to have some criterias there that say, these are the 4 that, I just wanna
Yeah.
avoid any.
We've done this, twice now with broadband, and how it's played out, is that people have submitted letters or resumes. Our committee, we had resumes submitted, but we did not request presence. Broadband has had the applicants present at the meetings, and they've been given the opportunity to speak on their behalf, but it's never been like formal interviews.
Okay.
So, I mean, which I think is, absolutely fair,
Yeah.
we give. But I don't know about sitting down and interviewing them like we did our lawyers.
So just to, I think, understand, basically, candidates were given the opportunity to attend the meeting in person prior to entering executive session. They could make a statement.
Solicited
Yep.
applicants.
Well, that's
I like
all,
that.
that's
They
all I
were
meant.
present,
Yeah.
they were allowed to speak on their behalf if they so chose. We had the information prior to the meeting, we entered executive, made the decision, pulled out of
That's,
executive.
that's,
I like that.
perfect.
Yeah.
That's all I didn't know how to phrase it.
Thank you for your experience in going through this.
It's happened many times, and all the
Right,
time,
right.
it's been very contentious, so, for a number of reasons. That's,
Okay,
I think it's all we fun to work through too.
Yes.
Some interesting applicants coming down the pipeline, I'm sure.
sounds good.
So when John officially, I mean, cause you did email us, you don't consider that his official email.
I mean, I feel like the language was a little bit like, I'm just letting you know, I will be resigning. Not
Cause the
resigning
term
yet.
actually goes through June, well, went through June 30th, I think it's a term. With the advisory board.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I'm happy to meet with him, between now and, hopefully maybe early next week and draft something.
Oh, you guys could put that out on the 24th.
Do what?
You guys could vote, we have to vote to have that put out, or just we have to put
I
it?
don't think so.
No.
We'll circulate it and people are welcome to make comments, and additions before it's published.
I'm not trying to add stuff to your guys' meeting, but I'm not gonna do that.
Nice try, but no luck. We're going for brevity.
Can I do one thing on the ferry service?
Mhm.
The only, and somebody came in my driveway this afternoon and talked to me about this. The only way any of the islands are gonna get any representation is not through letters, this is my opinion. Through letters, is to look at hiring a lobbyist that's associated and well-heeled with the governor's office. And look at what it would cost to retain a lobbyist to lobby for, our positions. Because everybody's, we've been arguing over these ferry things since I arrived 8 years ago. And, but a lobbyist is the way that you can either get it pushed through or not. And it'll be a very, there's a process, they'll lobby for us, and then they'll either get some language put together that can get supported, or they'll say it's a dead issue. So I don't know, we don't have to go through it today, but I just want to bring it up for discussion, and whoever talks the other islands might want to bring this idea to them.
Yeah, I know in the past, it has been discussed as far as like, when is the right time to push for, really there's the potential for a couple of different ways to alleviate the tax or the 50%.
Right.
One is, is there a way that we can fight having the undesignated or the unfunded pension liability removed from the operating budget? And we did talk about with our lawyer, our new legal counsel, about potential for investigating that option. And they seemed interested. The other would be to lobby to have that 50% change.
Yeah.
And what we have heard from people connected to it, at least in the recent past, has been, don't poke the bear. You are not going, you won't win, and you are likely to lose more than 50%. It might change.
Backfire.
Right, so I think it's a great suggestion, and we'll just have to be thoughtful about what the right timing is to make sure we have the leadership at the state level to.
Yeah, because
Not
it appears that, a commissioner, they're never gonna try to advocate for a change, because they're, the only outcome could be negative, so they'd rather not do anything. So we have to go above that, but, all right, so enough of the ferry.
Would it be, I'm not, with you, I won't drag this out tonight either, would it be worth getting in touch with these, heads of government on the other islands and seeing about putting together an island, like council, so to speak, to do that, so that the cost and logistics of a lobbyist wouldn't fall necessarily on one?
Well, that's kind of what I meant, so you would take the island.
I don't think it's totally.
You investigate the cost of a lobbyist, you interview the lobbyist. I have a lobbyist in several states that I interviewed and used. And then you pick one. Obviously, when you have a Democratic governor, you pick a Democratic lobbyist, and you put forth what you're trying to achieve and listen to them. They put up stuff, and then what's that gonna cost and how long? And then if it's $100,000 or 100,000 divided by, we can come up with a number. I don't think it would be that expensive to do.
I think there could be something that we could ask to bring to a next Main Islands Coalition meeting, which is, was that?
It does exist.
Yeah.
I was on
Yeah.
that.
They talk about a variety of different issues and it's all the islands, not just those that are served by the Main State Ferry Service, but they have kind of successfully, lobbied for different island issues in the past. And I guess the other person I would recommend is talking to is Nick Batista, who leads the policy effort at the Island Institute, and he's very, I think he can help give us some good advice about how to move that stuff. forward.
Yeah, can I add to that, Shay?
Yeah.
I've heard similar discussions now for about maybe 15 years. So this comes up regularly and people have ideas about how to go forward. And these are among the great ideas that have been suggested. There are people that have worked on this before, and it'd be good to kind of get a list of who to contact and maybe run through why they didn't go further with, say, a lobbyist, why they did not go further with maybe perhaps, you know, a coalition of islands. Why I keep hearing, and I've heard over and over again, that and I think it's true, Shay, the poke the bear analogy has come up a number of times. But there seems to be a lot of prior experience that ought to be tapped and then get more depth to it. Why is it that it's a dead end and maybe even a worst case scenario to try to bring up to the legislature that it's unfair to have this unfunded mandate funded by the islands? So get more detail before we go any further, I think is my suggestion. I believe that Steve Miller has a lot of experience in this area too. So maybe between the Island Institute, the people that you know, Shay, Steve, maybe there are a few other people, we can get a little bit more in-depth information about this instead of maybe what we have now, which is a repeat of a lot of the things that have been suggested. Good things, like the lobbyist is a great idea. But this find out why we haven't done it. Because it's not the first time I've heard it.
Can I suggest that you speak with Gabe and John King about that? I mean,
Yeah.
it's the kind of thing I think if Gabe, if it could have been done. Yeah. But unless it was financial, I don't ever remember hearing, you know, about planning to hire our own lobbyists, but the other islands.
Yeah,
What were they trying to?
I'll do a little investigation. I think that's right. We gotta find out more, but it's the groundwork. We should start something.
Thanks, Steve. That's great.
Any other ferry? All right, I rest on sea level rise for the night. Do you have anything for municipal building project update, Lauren?
I can give a quick update. I think anybody who's driven by the health center knows that the site preparation is complete. We have a new well, as Janet mentioned, a 500 deep well has been completed. Excavation for foundation is complete and structural concrete footings and foundation walls have been poured. Underground floor slab utilities, plumbing and electrical have started. Prefabrication of exterior walls and roof trusses will be starting soon. They'll be delivered to the site and installation to begin in mid to late August. And we're working with Steve Blatt's architect, Mark Olette, and we'll be looking at reviewing and selecting interior and exterior finish for the building. So things are really moving along. In terms of the Up Island Public Safety Garage, I've mentioned a couple of times that we've solicited numerous quotes for pre-engineered metal buildings. We've received some really, really good pricing. We're currently looking for a general contractor to do the site work and foundation construction. We might have someone, but we have not gotten that confirmed. And this is after discussions with the metal contractors and suppliers and a few other people. It is anticipated the total cost will be at or below the projected budget and that the project can move forward. So it's all looking very positive and certainly exciting that the new health center is going up. So yay.
Yeah, that is good.
Questions for Lauren? Excellent. All right, upcoming meetings and subcommittee reports, planning board on July 29th. Are there any other meetings or subcommittee reports people want to add?
Are we good tomorrow, I think, this meeting?
That's it, 6:30.
I wanna try rates here if I can. My best.
Janet, town manager report.
I have given you the Harbor minutes. They were very busy. Carrie was very busy typing April 18th, May 20th, which was a special meeting, and June 18th. Energy minutes from June 11th, school board meeting of June 25th. And Lighthouse minutes of June 27th. On my correspondence, it was all the email from Zach, which he's given you all the dates that they were looking at for meetings. And you mentioned the new ferry rates going out, starting August 1st, and we will make sure and send it out. Tina will blast it out. Clothing adoption. Right, so for me, I have been working on the Maine Municipal Bond Bank application, which is due August 1st, and Brian is helping me. So the status of Steve's, I had that on my list, status of Steve's survey, so I'm gonna receive something.
Yep, already sent it to you.
Oh, good. And posting the John King seat, set for the special town meeting. That time. We had received correspondence a while ago from, Mackenzie Kurzbergen, Senior Project Manager for the Lincolnville Ferry Terminal Project. She's asking again if we can set up a date for a public hearing out here, public information.
That's the one that I didn't realize. I think Pete said that, I thought it was for the ferry, and you corrected me, it was for the,
Yeah. facility,
That it was-
only for
yeah,
the
the
terminal.
facility.
Yeah. So I didn't know, and I think we talked about this before, I didn't know if you wanted to do it prior to a select board meeting, you think? And I did ask her how long she thought she needed. And I know she will come on the ferry, so we'll be having it in that.
yeah, let's do it in the morning, have her try to get on the, the 8 o'clock.
Have her drive herself, put her on the.
Right.
I mean, I would sort of be inclined, could we do it on a Thursday evening? I mean, yeah, and that way, I don't wanna have it in the middle of the day and ruin everybody else's schedule for.
So that, then it wouldn't be a selectmen's meeting night, so you wouldn't have to. All right, so let's say. You wanna think about it late August?
How about August 22nd?
How about August? All right, I'll ask her that tomorrow.
No,
Yeah, here.
I was just looking for a Thursday that.
No, actually, I guess it's 22nd.
EDT.
It could work. I can make that work.
All right,
And I'm sorry, just to be clear, is that working for you to be there, or is that working for the Kinnicut Center? Cause I feel like, when you look at your calendar, and, cause I'm assuming it's here, but I don't know. It's an open question.
Fair enough. Both. It's. It's Logan's 18th birthday, and I'm trying to figure out where he's gonna be.
Gotcha.
But I think we're fine. Cause it's not gonna be more than like an hour, right?
I wouldn't think so. What time's the Quicksilver?
7:30. So,
So if we started at 6, 7. You think? And in here,
That'll make sure the meeting does stay short.
yeah,
Oh, she's
you gotta catch the ferry.
6 to 7 on the 22nd?
yeah, and that should be fine, cause teacher's
in.
first day back isn't until the 26th, so we're okay.
Lauren, did you have something?
Yep, good for that.
And are we thinking here, or you just mentioned, I wasn't thinking about the kids.
So-
I think it's okay for it to be here. What do you guys think? Yeah.
Okay, all right, so let's say here.
Oh, okay.
I got it reserved just in case.
Closing in on it.
All right, I will email that back to her. Need to get rid of that. 8:22. And my other thing was the library and the solar, but Melissa's been in and do that discussion, so I think that's it for me.
No other correspondence? No old business, no other business. Let's approve,
I have other,
okay?
I hate to do this. No suggestion. I'm big on communication, so. They have that nice sign in front of the community center that they can put things on, you know what's going on. Since like this school board thing seems to be the perfect time to have a sign out there that you can list school board upcoming, and it has dates, boom, boom, really large, people drive by. They can't argue that they haven't seen stuff, so my only point is, let's in the future talk about maybe putting up something that can have the key events and dates so that it augments what we're doing electronically and the box and.
Do you mean electronic sign?
No, not necessarily, I mean, it could be, but I'm just saying something simple where we are able to post, like those dates would be a perfect thing to post out there. No one could say that we haven't given them, you know, when they drive by, I mean, because this is the main part by the store. Just a
Yeah.
thought,
Where did the ICC sign?
it's by the entrance to the IC.
So is it just a little signboard?
Well, it was, yeah, just a signboard that fell over, they put it back
Oh,
up. they-
gotcha,
And they
okay.
could slide little, you know, the little,
Right,
Oh,
the
those-
lines in there,
Are those
okay,
letters?
yeah.
Gotcha.
Just, you know,
no, that makes sense.
There is the easel that you guys
Right.
put out, you know, we could do something with that.
but I'm just thinking something that. You know, that we begin to use consistently, so people, as they drive by, look for it, you know, it's just another way to. And it wouldn't be expensive, so. Okay,
Warrant number
So moved.
2. Okay, second?
And 26 feet,
Yep,
both warrants.
It's only done it in one, so it's all in.
yeah, that's,
Oh, okay.
it's warrant number 2.
I prepared, yeah, I think.
Lauren,
Weird.
Yeah, I,
Melissa,
Yes, seen it.
yes.
J.I. All right, no appointments. I have no further comments tonight. I appreciate you guys' consideration for all the Sea Level Rise stuff today and all of your questions and comments and feedback. Lauren?
oh, great discussion and, try to stay cool, everyone.
I would like to take a moment to recognize our island has lost two amazing people that were very big on committees, and I loved both of them dearly. John Gorham worked so good with the school board and a lot of other things that he did, and also recently Toby Martin, who was fundamental with the energy committee. Sorry, this sucks, but I just want to take a moment to recognize that all of their hard work and how much they will be missed.
Well said. Steve, Pete, you get the last word? All right. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All those in favor? Aye.
Bye.
Huh?
You can have it down. One motion, one. Well-oiled machine.
Sorry.